Welcome to the Coffee Club, broadcasting live from New York with your host, Felix, and co-host, Dr. Marc. So let's have a cup of coffee and enjoy the show.
There is no heaven. There is no hell. There is only this world and its dark reflection. And we do not know in which of the two worlds we are.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, live from Oceanside, New York. It's the Coffee Club with your hosts, Felix, and hopefully soon joining us, Dr. Marc. Tonight's show is going to be quite interesting. We'll be talking about the debates that happened last week. We're going to talk a little bit about, the Super Bowl yesterday, New Hampshire primaries tomorrow, and whatever else we could think of. We're probably going to be joined tonight by Elisa, and I am not sure if Chad, the challenger, will be with us tonight. I'm not sure if anybody will be with us tonight because they're not here. Marc will be calling in from his house because because of the weather he didn't feel like driving, which is fine. I just don't understand. Oh, here he is, calling in. Is that you?
That's me.
And who's me?
Did you sign in yet?
Oh, yeah, we've been on a couple of minutes already.
Oh, this is the doc, Dr. Marc.
Why wouldn't I sign in? It's after 9 o'clock.
Hey, listen, you want me to answer that truthfully?
Yeah.
Yeah, many times we're late.
Yeah, no, but we haven't been late in, I can tell you, quite a few shows.
Okay, so what are we discussing tonight?
Well, I was just telling the audience the debates, the game last night, where the Denver Broncos.
That's right. I forgot to mention the Super Bowl in the the blurb.
Yeah.
My goodness, how could I possibly forget that? You know,
well,
it's because I have politics on my mind.
That's right, but I tell you, I was rooting for Denver, and I'm glad they won.
Yeah, well, I told my daughter, I said I'd really like to see Peyton Manning win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, give him 2 Super Bowl victories, especially after, a number of years ago. I mean, he was destroyed by Seattle. It was an embarrassment. And this way he'll retire. He'll retire a winner. And in 5 years he'll get into the Hall of Fame.
I don't know if he announced his retirement. They asked him last night, and he wouldn't answer.
No, he's not going to do anything. He's not going to say anything then, But I mean, he'll have a press conference within a month or so, or a couple of months down the road, and that's when he'll announce it. You don't announce it then,
That's true.
But they said the only other quarterback to win a Super Bowl and then retire was John Elway, who's one of the owners of the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
So he'll be in good company.
Yeah. But I enjoyed.
It was. In all honesty, it was really a boring game.
It was a boring game, and
the offense did nothing. If it wasn't for the defense, and that's why they picked the defensive player as the MVP.
Listen, the defense won the game. It wasn't Peyton that won the game. Everybody says Peyton won the game.
No, and he would be the first to tell you that. He had an average game. I mean, They were both intercepted once. There were a number of turnovers. You know.
He didn't do anything. Come on. I mean, you think about it. What did he do? He had 2 interceptions. One of them was a goal. You know. I mean, the defense was just great. You know?
Well, you know, you had the best offensive team against the best defensive team, and in this case, defense won out.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, so much for football. It's over until next August, I believe, when they have their practice games, you know, or whatever. But we're still heavy into the debate schedule in politics. The Republican debate was this past Saturday, and Marco Rubio made a fool of himself. Chris Christie made sure to point it out every chance he got, along with some other people, actually.
Yeah, but Chris Christie was the one that just put him down.
Well, you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, politics is reduced to that, you know, but you try to eliminate candidates along the way. I mean, look, it's the same thing now with Hillary has her husband Bill, you know, former president, and all he's doing is bashing Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders has not said one thing negative to Hillary other than the fact that she took a large amount of money from Wall Street and the banks. Okay?
And everybody talks about that.
You know, and Bill Clinton is bashing Bernie Sanders. I mean, the bottom line is, don't send your husband out to do your job. If you're going to say anything negative about him, say it already. Yeah. You know.
She's sending him to do the dirty work.
Yeah. Well, that's what he figures his job is going to be.
But what's she's going to say? Oh no, well, I didn't approve of what my husband is saying. Come on.
She wouldn't say that.
I know.
You know. And according to the polls, the latest polls, John Kasich, who I think did extremely well on Saturday, is now in second place. He beats out Marco Rubio by 1 point and Jeb Bush, I believe, by 1 or 2 points. Cruz is down to like fourth place, you know.
And how far ahead is Trump?
Trump has like 30 or 34 points. I mean, there's no way they're going to catch him. But everybody says the important thing is how you finish, you know, second and third place.
Yeah. Well,
for somebody like Kasich, it means a lot because he's starting to run out of money.
Yeah.
So if he has a good showing in New Hampshire, he may be able to raise some money for South Carolina. And if he does okay there, you know, I mean, nobody's looking for them to overtake Trump. It's a matter of coming in as close as you can, you know, knocking the building yourself up.
Well, you know, I think Trump was quite civilized on Saturday.
Well, not when it came to Bush. You saw what he did to Bush.
Yeah, although Bush was going after him, he was going after Bush.
No, he was trying to explain that Donald had eminent domain wrong. And Trump was shushing him, you know, like a parent.
Well, they were both talking at the same time. So, but most of the time. But, you know, I heard most of the critics on both sides agree with Trump that without eminent domain, there'd be nothing. You have to have it. It's a Supreme Court has voted on the side of the dominant domain already. They have ruled on it. And it's the law.
Well, you know, I'm not passing judgment one way or the other. I'm just talking about the debates itself, you know.
Also, I don't know if did you see the beginning of the show? Of the debates when they were calling out the candidates?
Oh, I know. There was a mix-up with Ben Carson and
just Ben Carson.
Trump. Yeah.
Ben Carson, and Trump stayed with him till they called out his name, even though they called Trump before. But he just stayed with him, and so which
well, I got
everybody.
news for you. After New Hampshire, I think Ben Carson should pack it in. That should be the first order of business. But he may be the only one, because I don't see any of the others packing it in anytime soon. Although John Kasich said that if he has a poor showing in New Hampshire, he said he'll just pack it up and go home.
Yeah.
He was the only one who said that, really.
Yeah.
But so far, it seems from all indications, he may have a pretty decent showing.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But what I was going back to telling you about with Trump staying with the doc, the broadcasters were saying that was a very noble act on his side and show his true colors of being a really nice guy. And I'm not quite sure why.
I don't see what one thing has to do with the other.
Really. Because when they called Carson and he missed it, he couldn't hear it. There was a reason. And then the other guy just went right around him. Trump said,
"Well, no, they had called Jeb Bush's name, and Jeb Bush, went out on stage. I did see that, and I did see, I didn't hear them call Carson and Trump.
Well,
I sort of missed that,
Yeah, well, what happened? They called Trump, but he didn't go out neither. He waited till Carson got called.
I don't know.
Neither do I. I don't even know what the big deal was that they said, but they saying that Ben Carson and him are friends, and he stayed with his friend when there was a screw up. That's all. Whatever that means.
Well, if Trump becomes president, he'll make Carson Surgeon General.
Maybe vice president.
No way. No, in fact, they asked Trump today. They said, "Would you consider John Kasich for vice president?" And he said that he has a lot of respect for Kasich, and he has no negative feelings toward him or anything. He said, "Let's wait and see." He says, "I haven't even given that any thought."
Yeah, well, Kasich would bring Ohio hopefully with him, and that's a swing. That's a swing state.
That's what Chris Matthews said. He said, being the governor of Ohio, he might bring Ohio to you, and that's a swing state.
Yeah.
It's a big state. Ohio has always gone with the person who became elected president in the last, I don't know how many elections.
That's right. It's a big swing state. Yeah, hopefully, like you said, we'll see. I mean, I like Kasich. I think...
I do, too. As far as all the Republicans are concerned, he's the only one that, he's very positive. He's willing. He has worked with Democrats. He has reached across the aisle. He was in Congress for 18 years, and now he's governor. So he knows all aspects of government. And he's worked on budgets and things of that nature. So,
it's funny. He says, I'm sorry. He says that he'll work across the lines and all that. He always has. But he also
said he's not going to go negative on anybody.
And he also said he's a true conservative at the same time. But him and... by the way, all of them, every one of them just about, do not want to abolish Medicaid or Medicare. You know that, right?
No, I don't know that.
Well, it's a fact. They all think that, Medicaid is necessary. They just won't give, a lot of them don't want to give it to illegal aliens. Or whatever you want to call them.
Undocumented workers.
Yeah.